Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Douglas and I make fishing videos and tutorials to hopefully inspire you to go out there, try new fishing methods and to help you catch more fish. Oh, that's a nice fish. Not too hot. There's a fish. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's it. I don't know if that... Well, today guys, I'm finally back trout fishing and I'm in the Highlands of Scotland on one of my favourite little lochs in the Highlands. Conditions today not perfect. As you can see, I'm in the float tube. We've got bright sunshine forecast today and there is absolutely no wind, so it's going to be challenging today. I'm going to be doing mostly fly fishing unless we get a little breeze, which will be really nice, get some movement on the water, then we may be in for a better chance on the fly. So a cold start to the morning. It was -1 this morning. As you can see in the background, there's a lot of mist at the moment. The sun is almost breaking through this, and when that sun breaks through, that mist is going to clear. And like I said, it's meant to be sunny all day today, no clouds, but yeah, fantastic to be finally back on the water in the float tube, which I actually love doing. Just gives you a lot of freedom on the water. As much as I love fishing on the bank, guys, I do like the float tube. I'm more comfortable on the water than anywhere else. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully get you some nice shots of the scenery round about us, but yeah, looking forward to this, even though I know it's going to be hard. First trout session of the year. It's only the 20th of March, so trout season only opened 4 days ago, something like that, and hopefully we can get a score in the door and get this trout season underway. So yeah, the water is really low for this time of year. It's probably about 3 feet lower than normal. So there's obviously not been a lot of rain recently in the Highlands. Really surprised to see it like this. You usually expect this in the summertime when there's not been any rain. I don't think I've ever been here this early in the season where the water's been as low as this. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast my line out with the flies. Just a team of 3 flies, traditional Loch style flies. Just size 16s. Nothing huge. And what I'm going to do is it is still really shallow around this area. I've only been in the water for 5 minutes. Cast my line out. I'm going to paddle while I've got the flies out the back door. Not traditional fly fishing, I know, but we could pick up a fish. So yeah, just my 5-weight rod today. That's all I really use on this little loch. 4 or 5 weight. Not got my dapping gear today because I knew there was going to be not very much wind. To be honest, I would rather this sun didn't break through, but it's not going to happen. Although this mist will hang around a little bit longer because of the lack of wind. But I think once that sun gets up, it's only 8 o'clock in the morning, once the sun gets up a bit, that's going to help burn that off. Yeah, that's a cast out. So yeah, as though it's going to be tough today, it is going to be very pleasant. I don't think I've ever been on this loch so early in the season. It's usually about April time I start. And even then, the last time I was here on the float tube at the start for my first session last year, the water was absolutely freezing. There was still snow on the surrounding mountains, and I had to go ashore just to get a bit of heat in my legs. But well wrapped up today. A couple of layers of merino wool socks. Hopefully it didn't get too cold. So the line's out, 3 flies. Just keeping an eye on it. Just looking for those tugs. The tug is a drug. As I made my way through the rocky outcrops of the loch, I had no takes at all on the traditional loch flies. This method of using the oars and paddling, it normally produces a few fish, but for some reason today it didn't. At this stage I did make a tactical change. I took off 2 of the traditional loch flies, one on the middle dropper and one on the point, and I swapped these out with 2 olive chironomids, or buzzers. Just size 16. I will keep the BellyBoat on the top dropper. I'll always have the BellyBoat on any cast of 3, no matter what the flies are. The BellyBoat always produces on this loch. With having the BellyBoat on the top dropper and a Palmer style fly, this will sink very slowly, and the 2 chironomids or the buzzers that are below that, they'll sink at different depths, even though they'll only go down to a maximum about 4 feet because I've got a floating fly line on. Once I get a little bit out in the open water, I'm just going to use the fins this time on the float tube and just paddling really slowly, almost static but still covering ground. Because there's no wind, I'm not drifting at all, and this is making the best use of the float tube because I can still cover ground and I can cover fish. I just had another fish, so that's 3 for the count. Hopefully the first 2 that I've got a double header at the start, so I'll say that now just in case I didn't get that on camera. Nice little wild brownies, and then one literally 5 minutes after that. I thought the camera was running, it must have turned itself off, or I switched it off, and I'm just using the fins to paddle really slowly. So I'm fishing these really slowly because I've got the chironomid on, even though 2 fish have come on the BellyBoat, which is a fly I'll always have on in this little loch. The odd rise round about me, and because I'm finning really slowly, I've got my rod pointed directly at the end of my line, staying in contact with it, so no slack line. So because I've got the floating line on, I'm just relying on the weight of the flies to sink below the surface. They may only be about 4 feet down, that's all I need. You know, the fish will be looking up. There is the odd fly on the water buzzing about. Did have a sort of rise on earlier. I was paddling around to this area. This is new ground for me. I've never been as far down the loch before, and I've still got lots more to explore. And I have fished this loch probably 20 times now. It'll probably take another 20 times to explore the rest. No idea how deep we are. It's not a very deep loch, this. It might only be 10, 11 feet deep or something. Flies that's buzzing about that I can see, they're just dark olives really. Probably about a size 16. Well guys, a little bit of a breeze picked up. My first cast with this breeze, and I hooked the fish straight away. Again, it took the chironomid. Just a little guy. That's number 4. Actually covered a fish that rose, took it straight away. When that wind picked up, I took one of the chironomids off on the middle dropper, and I put just a black spider on. And I've still got the chironomid on the point at the moment. But I'll see how it goes. If for whatever reason they go off the chironomid, I'll probably change a more traditional tight fly, maybe put the dunkeld back on that point. Just with this little breeze. So pleased this little breeze picked up. Hopefully it'll stay here for a bit. Should be super productive. There's another one. On the BellyBoat. It would be good if there was one or two fish rising that you could actually cover. Even though you will get them in general without fish rising, but it's just good to have a target. Another one, guys, that's on the chironomid. Beautiful. Thank you, buddy. Excellent. That was on the Dunkeld that time. Oh, missed that on the hang. Well, that one, guys. On the Kate McLaren this time. Oh, beautiful colours. A bit thin. Thank you, buddy. Where's she gone? On the Kate McLaren again. Few fish rising. I covered a rise there. I hooked that fish. Oh, I just missed that one. See if it comes back. Don't know if I jagged it or not. That was a good take. It's on the Kate again. Don't want to mess about with this one. Just a little guy. Right in the corner of the chops. Quite dark, that one. Yeah, it's turned out to be a fantastic day. I did think it was going to be hard. Obviously, with the zero wind and it was hard at the start. Took me a while to find fish, and then I used the technique of just using my fins just to paddle really slow, fishing almost static, and that produced. And then this little breeze picked up and it's hung around, managed to cover a few fish rising and took the flies. Superb double hook up just now. One on the BellyBoat and one on the Kate McLaren. So satisfying to get that take on drone footage, especially a double hook up. Really pleased. Two stunning little wild brownies, not huge but fantastic fun to catch. There's a few fish starting to rise now, just the little dark olives, and got this other stunning little brownie again. Just got it on the hang. I do love it when you get it on the hang, so close to the float tube. That was on the Dunkeld that time. What a take, and another one falls victim to the BellyBoat. It's such a fantastic fly this year. I saw a trout rise out the corner of my eye, just to the left. And I'll cover this fish and a few strips of the line, and it took it. So satisfying when you hook into a fish that you cover, you almost expect it. And another stunning little wild brownie. Fantastic. Well guys, I lost sound at the end of the session here, and I'll just voice over the session just to summarise. So I ended up having a fantastic day today, far better than I could ever imagined it would have been. The cam conditions at the start, no wind, flat cam like a mirror. But as soon as I changed my tactics, putting the buzzers on, just fishing that below the surface, fishing really slowly, just using the fins to paddle, I did pick off a few fish with that. The flies that did the business today were of course the BellyBoat, which is at the top, size 16, Cape McLaren, which I fished on the point, that accounted for about 4 fish, and the Dunkeld, which is a Dunkeld variant, that accounted for 2 or 3 fish. And the fly at the bottom, again size 16, the little olive green buzzer, which really helped I think at the start of the session, even though I did pick off a few fish when the wind picked up. Once that wind picked up, the traditional Loch flies, you know, they came into their own, and it was good to see a few fish rising. Always good to cover fish, and obviously to get the takes. And like I said earlier, you know, you almost expect to take when you cover a fish, even with the wet fly. So guys, thanks very much for joining me today. If you like this content, please consider subscribing, leave a comment below. Tight lines guys, and I'll see you next time on Piscator UK.